we're going to get to some of what we've seen around us. Literally, there's TVs around us, and some of the way that Jared Goff has been discussed this week rubs me the wrong way. Mm-hmm. And I'm a reformed Goff hater, so I think I'm uniquely qualified to
speak on
to
this
be
topic.
the interpreter between what we're seeing here and what we're actually seeing on the field. We open the show with something fun too, because the Lions are everywhere. Half of Heather's news stories, I feel like, are about local businesses and local phenomenons and different things. And John, you wondered, have people been upgrading their life because of the Lions?
Yeah, I mean, 65,000 people are going to be at Ford Field, give or take a few thousand on Saturday night. Many more are going to be watching on TV, whether it's here in Metro Detroit, across the state of Michigan, or anywhere in the world, and have people upgraded their TV because they want to see more of the Lions. Literally want to see more of the Lions. Or maybe you're having a watch party and it's something that you've been doing, and all of a sudden, hey, you want a new couch. Maybe there's a new grill or smoker or something to, and we always talk about the way that women will rationalize purchases. Oh, well, it was on sale. Mm-hmm. Is this the man's way of rationalizing a purchase? Well, it's for the Lions game, right? It's for everybody coming over. We want to have a better experience, whether it's the TV, the couch, the grill. Like, you got to have the right food.
The ways the Lions have upgraded your life. Tom talked about how he sees all those Lions trucks.
Yeah.
The Ford put out the specific,
the special edition.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we did the very deep dive into the research of how many there are.
Only 800.
Yeah, 800. And what did somebody text in earlier? Because I've seen the silver is the ones that I've seen. I know there's a black version. Those are the only two, quote unquote, authorized.
Official. Well, yeah, and some people may have done like their own.
Right, you got a Honolulu blue
wrap.
truck or blue truck, and you put
a
slap a magnet on there. Like, I've seen that. But yeah, I mean, those are things 5 years ago, Ford wouldn't even put those in production because they wouldn't have sold.
No. I mean, you're wearing a shirt you just got.
Yeah, great point. I since I played for the Lions, I have not purchased any Lions gear. The only thing I've done last year at the Rams-Lions playoff game, I got a new hat. Every once in a while, on Victory Mondays, I'll wear that in. But I didn't have any other clothes that were Lions clothes.
So it could be your truck, it could be your wardrobe, it could be your living room, it could be your TV, it could be a way that the Lions have nudged you, upgraded your life.
Yeah.
If you missed that earlier, then open the show. Odyssey Rewind. What was that, John?
Yeah.
Okay. So that's there for Lions fans. This Goff thing, okay? If we can move past that.
Yeah.
Why doesn't Goff get more credit?
Well, because he's not flashy. He's not the guy that, is not going to have a whole lot of highlights. The highlights are going to be about J-Mo or about the trick plays. Amon-Ra St. Brown flipping the ball to Jahmyr Gibbs coming across the formation, right? Laporta and the explosive plays we talked about yesterday, whether it's Montgomery or Gibbs. And like, all of that is the conversation surrounding the Detroit Lions. And it's kind of always been that way for Jared Goff. He is, even when you hear him talk, right, he's not the most flamboyant individual.
No. And look, there's a different classification of quarterback that I don't think he's in. The Mahomes, Allen, and Lamar tier because of some of their physical gifts.
Sure.
But I think we've gone too far when we're putting Jaden Daniels ahead of him, which is what I've seen from multiple shows this week. On Get Up yesterday, they asked, who would you trust game-winning drive more? And real people said Jaden Daniels. Yesterday on FS1, Danny Parkins said Jaden Daniels is better than Jared Goff.
So right now, no. We don't know what Jaden Daniels becomes. I mean, he could be unbelievable. He's had a remarkable rookie season. We don't know what he becomes. What we know about Jared Goff is he's taken a team to the Super Bowl. He is on his second organization, and he's taken them to the NFC Championship game. And when he got here, it was the worst roster in football. He is, and I'm going to try and consolidate some of the comments on Twitch, where I talked about the playmakers getting the credit. It's also Ben Johnson who is getting a lot of the credit for the trick plays. Jared Goff's the one that delivers those trick plays. He's the one that makes it all possible, and yet he gets no credit for it.
When they say, if I was starting a team today, I would pick Jaden Daniels, is it just because of the age? Because I don't even think that's accurate or fair. Jared Goff is in the prime of his career. For an NFL quarterback, he's kind of at the midpoint. And if we want to say, well, Jaden Daniels has done so much with what he's inherited, do we not realize Jared Goff came to Detroit at a low point, both for him and for the team? They effectively started over with him at ground zero. And what's happened in a short span? He's leading the number one offense in football. And I know he has help, and he certainly is a quarterback that needs help like many of them do. But they aren't the number one offense in football in spite of Jared Goff. You know what I mean? They win on 3rd and 4th down from the pocket with precision. Like, I don't know how we're going to do this thing where we're going to hold it against Jared Goff. He is a guy who, when he got to Cal, they were a 1-win team. When he left, they won 8 games and went to a bowl game. When he got to St. Louis before they moved to L.A., they were a bad football team with a 4-win season. John, to your point, he did quarterback them in a Super Bowl and some big playoff wins. And he's only proven the point again in Detroit. So the idea that I'd want to start with Daniels because he's uniquely equipped to deal with a bad situation, it's all Jared Goff has done is be resilient and overcome and improve. And I don't think it's at all accurate to say that Jared Goff is below Jaden Daniels. Like, that's where I think we get a little too into the traits, where we say he's faster and has a bigger arm. So?
Right.
So? I mean, I think that's part of the case for Allen, Lamar, and Mahomes, but those guys are winning MVPs and Super Bowls. Jaden Daniels is a rookie. So we ask you guys the question, why doesn't Goff get more respect? Is it because he's not flashy enough? He's not mobile enough? John, maybe your point is the credit gets dispersed among everybody on the offense and he doesn't get enough of it.
Well, so then you also have to look and say, okay, well, who's the star of the show? And in Washington, it's clearly Jaden Daniels, star of the show. But they don't have an Amon-Ra St. Brown. They don't have a Gibbs or even a Montgomery. And they don't have a Laporta. They don't have a J-Mo. Like, you start talking about all the stars that Detroit has, and Jared Goff is the one that delivers the ball. He's the one that puts everybody in the right position at the right time. But he's also the guy when you talk about, and you're only talking about the skill set of the quarterback in regards to big arm and he can run. Mm-hmm. There are so many more traits that make up a great NFL quarterback, and Jaden Daniels may develop those. But as you heard in the quote there, where he's talking about the continuity of the system, it's year 1 for Jaden Daniels, year 1 for Dan Quinn, year 2 for the ownership of this team. Like, they haven't even had a chance to have continuity. So to make that part of the equation is dumb. You're not comparing anything that's the same.
No, and he did if the guys switched places, would the Commanders be in the playoffs with Jared Goff? I think you could ask the other question. Are the Lions the 1 seed with a rookie quarterback, even one as good as Jaden Daniels? No, they lost to the Cowboys this season, the Steelers this season. He may have played more mistake-prone football, right, than a Jared Goff who's been largely clean this season.
You think the Lions would be 15-2 with Daniels?
That's what I just said. I don't think so.
Yeah, I mean, seriously, this is such a joke. Somebody texts fake news. I actually think it is borderline. These guys, these talking heads on most of these networks now they get caught up in hype. You would never hear an original opinion right now. How about this topic for them? Sean McVay scapegoated Jared Goff. Look, was McVay right?
I was going to say, hard to blame him when he did get the bigger arm quarterback and won a Super Bowl.
But they both won.
Yeah.
Both things can be right.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he blamed it all on Goff. And while they did end up upgrading slightly at quarterback, I mean, Jared Goff was written off.
Yeah.
Who at the station said that they thought Goff would be the guy?
Initially, I can't imagine very many did. And the bridge narrative was real. And I was one of the last guys to jump on board. Like, I mean, I don't know. I'm trying to come at this from a position where I think I have been where they are, right? Where you look at Goff and see what he can't do. But I think he's been here in Detroit long enough and he's shown us enough of what he can do. And I don't know why other people are ignorant to it. They're putting their blinders on. Like, we're propping up Jaden Daniels, maybe the way some did C.J. Stroud a year ago. Let's let the guy get in the league, have teams adjust to him, go through some bumps and bruises before we prop him above more proven, winning, successful quarterbacks.
And here's the thing. I mean, when Goff went to the Rams, when he was drafted number 1 overall, he went to one of the worst teams in football. That's the reason they were drafting number 1 overall. And in 3 years, took him to a Super Bowl. Now, it's not all him. It's never just all one person.
No.
But now he's on the doorstep of doing it with the second franchise, of taking a team to the Super Bowl. And let's just wait and see in a couple of years. Is Jaden Daniels, does he get Washington to a Super Bowl in that 3-year time span?